What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Scarpino, alongside my partner in crime, Mr. Tim Geddes.
It's me.
The future of video games, Blessing Adeoye Jr.
It's me.
And, the Texas Treat, Latino Heat, clicking heads and ripping them to shreds, the Globetrotting, headshot and nitro rifle, rootin' tootin' nitro rifle, three-point shooting from twitch.tv/Andy Cortez, Mr. Andy Cortez.
You got in your own way.
Hello.
Nick. You had it.
No, because I like to add stuff.
Yeah.
And I was,
But you did it.
I got halfway down the road and I thought to myself, well, Rootin' Tootin's my edition.
Well, of course. But
Okay,
that's
it's become
what
canon,
tripped you up there.
which means that it's my purview as to whether or not I would like to include that in today's trial, Your Honor.
Got it. You're right.
Now, I want you guys to know I tripped myself up before this thing even started because at the top of my form that I copy over from last week to add some new stuff, new sponsors, new patrons, whatever, I have Do the Dune. The Dune.
Yeah.
Is what we were going to call last week's episode. Yeah, those are stinky. We got to clean those bad boys out.
That just hit me, man.
Yeah, I can spell that.
Let it hit you, and then we'll see where we're at in 5 minutes if we're all a little high.
Okay.
Because we're going to talk about the Oscars, and it's going to be real fun.
That's
of
exciting.
course, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to that, this is the Kind of Funny podcast where each and every week, 3, sometimes 4 best friends gather around this table, each bringing topics for your amusement. A couple housekeeping things before we start the shenanigans. The Mix and Kind of Funny have teamed up for the Spring Game Showcase. 60 indies will strut their stuff this Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's the usual KF Games, Kind of Funny Games daily time. It's over on our other channel, but you guys can know about that. Come watch on our channels, the Mix channels, IGN, and GameSpot. Also,
We're worldwide, baby. We're everywhere.
we're Mr. Worldwide. Pitbull suing us.
I heard there's going to be a halftime show. May or may not be
We're not supposed
Pitbull.
to talk
Oh my God! If we got Pitbull for anything, I would be very scared because I talk a lot of shit about Pitbull.
You would do
lot
a
of
great
shit about
halftime show.
We would.
Well, no, Pitbull. I'm talking
Yeah.
about Pitbull, yeah.
Yeah, well, we would throw a great Pitbull halftime show.
I mean, I would be down to sponsor it. I don't know if we got the money for that, but
We'll have to
like,
figure it out, though.
yeah.
Well, I don't think we sponsor that. I think the Super Bowl calls us. For the Are we talking about a Super Bowl halftime show or a
Talk
mixed
about the
halftime
mixed
show?
halftime show.
Oh yeah, we
Oh.
could.
There's not
Yeah, I'm
a
talking
halftime
about
show,
the
by
Super
the
Bowl.
way.
I'm willing to bet
Should
that Pitbull is like flexible with this pricing.
I'm willing, but he's not.
I think if he likes you, he'll come through.
Something tells me that Pitbull
He shows up
makes
like
a
Dale.
surprising amount of money.
Oh, he's a multi-millionaire.
all the time, though.
Yeah,
Like,
it's Mr. Worldwide.
he-
Come on, think about it, man.
He's like, I'll do it for free. Just get me a code for Ghost of Tsushima on PC.
Folks, if you like what we do here, please consider supporting us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Shout out to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Kishan Patel, Nathan Lamoth, Karen Lindner, James Hastings, and Casey Andrew. You are the best of the best, just like Eric Roberts in that movie we talked about last week. Also, today, we're brought to you by Shady Rays and Factor. We're going to talk about those awesome people a little bit. Guys, we've talked about Pitbull already, so we got that out of the way.
Good.
Here's the big question I have for you.
I had a question before. You have a question?
Let's Rochambeau for it.
You saw me throw down scissors, had a full half a second to decide what you wanted to do.
Rock for the record.
Damn it. I
Like, you
just
had
wanted to be
rock
like,
had
for,
the win.
for a full second, and then at the last second, changed this.
He thought Andy did scissors, so I should do
I want to do
scissors.
scissors. I want to be like my KFM. buddy.
How do you forget the rules to rock paper
That
scissors?
was amazing.
Jesus.
Well, what I wanted to ask was, I saw a tweet from @Blessing Jr. over the weekend, and said, I did my preliminary duties. I watched the prologue. I did the tutorial, and I watched Dune 1.
I did.
Yeah. Ooh.
I did.
Finally did it. Multiple watches.
Yeah, so I watched it on Friday. At least I tried to watch it Friday night. I hit up a friend and I was like, yo, it's time. We're doing the Dune. Those plans kept getting shifted further into the night where it was
Like the sands.
yeah, they live in Oakland. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me wait out the traffic. I'll come through. We'll watch Dune. As I was waiting out the traffic, I was like, oh, let me stream a game. Let me stream some Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi just to pass the time. Ended up doing that. Got really into the Frieza saga in that game. It took longer than I meant to. So I finished that. It's like 8:30 by that point. But I'm like, you know what? No, let's still do it. Let's still watch Dune. So I drive 30 minutes to their place. And then once I get there, it's been a minute since we've seen each other. And so like, it was just we had one of those conversations that ended up as a 2-hour thing.
You can't just hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Let's immediately throw on a 3-hour
let's
Denny
automatically
Villeneuve.
watch Dune. Like, and we both kind of want to watch Dune. Like, honestly, we both want to watch Dune so we can watch Dune too. So we get there, or I get there, start talking, and it's one of those things too where she has drama to like spill.
Oh,
so it's
sure.
like, okay, cool. Like, let's sit down, let's talk about
What's
this
the
shit.
chisme? That's what.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the
Mexican
tea?
people say, yeah.
Like, what is it? So that goes down. 2 hours pass, and now it's 11 p.m. And we look at each other and we're like, are we gonna watch Dune? And we do. And I fall.
Wow.
And then I fall asleep 40 minutes in, and I knew this was gonna happen. To prepare for it, on the way, I got the biggest size of coffee that I could, from like iced coffee from McDonald's. Got that, and I also made tea when I got there. Like I had 2 different caffeinated drinks that
up.
at the 40-minute mark, I was like, "Hey, I'm falling asleep. Pause. Let me drink like down the rest of this tea. Let me make tea, down it. Let me down the rest of this coffee. I'll be good to go for the rest of this thing. I'm gonna be up all night." I do that, press resume, I'm out immediately. I fucking fall the fuck
You're
asleep.
inside, you're just angry at you.
Yeah, no,
Just
so
the
like,
worst dreams possible.
but then I wake up the next morning. I fell asleep there. Like that's how bad it was. It's like she was like, "Do you want to sleep here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sleep here because I'm not gonna drive home from Oakland being this tired." I wake up, go home, and watch Dune immediately that next morning, and I really liked it. It was-
Hell yeah. We got him,
good.
boys.
Good.
I thought it was gonna be way more boring and confusing than it was. Like it was slightly confusing. It was like a little bit boring, but once you get into that movie, it is
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Thank you for welcome back to the Dune cast. By the way,
Yeah.
last episode we had a great Dune cast. The last episode.
Well, that was the tutorial for this one,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I did watch the in review right after I finished the movie. I was like, I'm gonna watch the in review. I listened to a different podcast talk about it as well. In review was great, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Kevin. Yeah, Kevin was laying down like a lot of like, in the know secrets about the Dune franchise. In the know if you read the book. Really like just book things.
Yeah.
Kevin was breaking it down. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I'm super excited about the second movie. I saw I think somewhere online or like in an interview, Denis Villeneuve? Yeah, Denis Villeneuve did a interview where they were talking about like, yeah, more when it comes to filmmaking, I'm more interested in like the visual storytelling as opposed to like just dialogue and stuff. And I saw like a few people, kind of taking apart that statement, kind of hating on it a little bit. After watching Dune 1, I'm like, no, I get it. Cause like that is such like that is a visual delight.
And what if I told you that Dune 2 just takes it to a whole other level?
I immediately before Nick and Bless sat down at the desk, Tim was asking me my thoughts because Friday night
You did the Dune too.
there
You
was
saw it
a
in Dolby, or what did you see it at?
Dolby. It was a 10:45 showing,
You are insane.
What is wrong with you?
and I'm going with our friend
3-hour movie.
with our friend Kevin Ace X, the spaceman,
Spaceman cometh.
and Snowbike Mike.
So
Take it, Snowbike
So
Mike.
maybe just Kevin.
Take a Snowbike Mike to a late night movie. I mean, even a 5 p.m. movie. Let's forget about
Mike,
late
by
night
the way,
movie,
is watching Ghostbusters 2 right now at 3:20, and he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
I just want you guys to know that.
We went to go see it in Dolby, and it was a religious experience. And I disagree with the people saying that if you didn't like Dune 1, you won't like Dune 2. Like I think Dune
I would
2.
disagree with that. Yeah, I would absolutely disagree.
Well, I've heard people saying like, "Hey, look, you're hearing a lot of scuttlebutt on the internet about how amazing Dune 2 is. If you weren't super into 1, you're probably not going to like this." I've heard that from a lot of different people.
Okay.
And not just like here in the office. I've just kind of heard it in a lot of different
Who said it
spots.
in the office? Name names.
Well, I think, Tim's at one point said it.
Did I?
I thought you did, yeah.
I don't think so.
No, Tim didn't like Dune 1 and then watched it again and really liked it and then was super hyped for Dune 2.
I think Andy might be right. I think you might have started like, look, if you didn't like Dune 1, you might not like this. It's not the same.
I'm being mostly
Maybe,
silly. Of
yeah.
course, people are entitled to. I mean, you didn't like Dune. It's possible.
I've heard it in a lot of different spaces. I completely disagree. I think like Dune 1 brings it in so many different aspects, visually, audibly.
Audible?
Dude, it's a fucking tour de force.
Dune 2?
Dune 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
and
I already feel that way about Dune 1.
and it was just fucking fantastic. And I'm the same with Tim. Where like I watched it the first time and I was like, that was okay. I liked it, but I wasn't blown away by it. And then after rewatching it recently, I was like, oh shit, I'm very excited for Dune 2 now.
I'm very excited to watch Dune 2.
I immediately I saw Blessing tweet that, and I texted him and was like, whenever you're going again, tell me. I want to watch it again. Like this movie is that damn good. And the craziest part is that like we leave the theater at 1:55 a.m. That's when this movie ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, and this room is packed.
Yep.
It is so packed in this Dolby theater. And like credits hit, and you just hear everybody around you go like, fuck. What an experience, man.
yeah.
Like and legitimately no amount of overhyping could have overhyped it for me. Like I still was blown away by a lot of what was happening. And I can't really think of a whole lot that I would say was super weak about it either. I was just like completely enthralled by the experience. It is amazing.
I'm hyped, man.
It needs to be a Dolby watch, or I heard on the podcast because I listened to the second episode of the podcast of In Review, and Matt Rohrbeck saying how much he enjoyed the IMAX experience as well.
Either way,
It
not
was
gonna go wrong.
It was awesome, dude.
I want to get into it, and I'm hoping I'm able to get to the level with Dune where I'm like just into the world, because it's kind of rare for me with a lot of like fictionalized worlds. When I think of like the big ones in film, like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, it's really hard for me to like invest fully in those worlds. Like Star Wars just never did it for me in that way. I think the only film franchise that I can think of that spans like a lot of movies that's done that has maybe been Harry Potter. Like that's the closest. But Dune, just from Dune 1, I'm like, I really like this world. I'm really into the stuff they're setting up lore wise. Even the fact that Dune 1, they don't explain shit, and you're just there. They just put you in that world and just have you kind of along for the ride. And when I hear Kevin or anybody else talk about shit, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's
Dune
really
2
cool.
is gonna break, Blessing.
I'm excited. I become a Dune sicko.
I feel you, because like really a lot of like those flash forwards in Dune 1 kind of made the experience too heady for me, and just like what's going on like with all these like kind of visions that Paul Atreides is having. But I think those little elements of storytelling that Denis Villeneuve was going after like kind of lost me in the first experience of watching it, where like I was more in for the spectacle, but when it came to a lot of the storytelling aspects, I was like, dude, like I'm kind of lost with what the hell's happening right now. And I feel like, I don't know, man, after rewatching part 1 and then watching part 2 for the first time, having everything sort of recontextualized, it's so good, man. Like, and like legitimately the movie ends, I was like, dude, I don't like Denis Villeneuve. Like this has cemented him as like one of the best of all time. I already feel like he was like that, but this is like
Dune 2 is different. Dune 2, like you're saying, of like if you didn't like the first, the second, whatever. Dune 2 is a blockbuster.
Yeah.
And it's also all the other great things, but like I feel like it hits in a way that like Blade Runner just simply can't because of what it is. And even Dune 1 couldn't because of what it is. But Dune 2, I feel like there is way more mainstream appeal without sacrificing anything else.
Yeah.
Blade Runner is definitely more cerebral, right? And that's I always talk about that movie, and you go back and look at how they marketed it, and there's only like 3 action sequences in that whole movie, and they're not even action sequences. It's a lot more of a drama and a lot more deep sci-fi. Dune 2, and this is the reason why a lot of people were saying, giving that criticism, is like you put them together, it's phenomenal. You take them apart, and Dune 2 is way more fun to watch than Dune 1, because Dune 1's all the setup for it, right? Dune 2 is all the payoff with all the action sequences and all this stuff and all the cool stuff. So it's just a much more enthralling movie. But I do want everyone to go back right now and just go buy Blade Runner 2049, because I think we could do this.
We could retroactively fix it.
Yes, I really do.
Let's go, baby.
If
Like,
we
do
could-
we'll have a Morbius moment, put it back in theaters.
we call up the guy that did that GameStop stock thing, right? And we try to get on that world where everyone just starts buying copies of Blade Runner 2049 until that stock goes back up and we get Blade Runner 2050 or whatever they were going to do next, starring Ryan Gosling.
You know,
Is he dead at the end of that? I don't know. He just lays down. I lay down
you
every
know what
night,
I was
wake
really
back
happy
up.
about also? Not getting the standard Dolby intro. I loved having this Denis Villeneuve Dolby intro of him being like, we had to put this movie in Dolby, not only because they paid me a fuckload of money to do all this stuff, but like the level of color you're getting, the sound, that's like, I loved having that little special intro
So good.
from like a true artist.
I'm so ashamed to say that I saw this on the most basic ass of screens at the Kabuki. It was their big theater.
Yeah.
The sound was fine, but it wasn't anything special.
Dude, I got tempted. Saturday night? I was looking at showtimes, and I remembered Tim talking about how like shit is sold out right now for Dune 2 if you want to see it
Everywhere.
in like IMAX and stuff.
I mean, when's the last time we had a movie like that? Maybe Barbie, I guess, probably, right?
I don't know if Barbie was sold out.
There was a hot moment where I remember specifically being like,
I mean,
let's go see-
Oppenheimer was the last one of
Yeah.
like the premium formats are sold out for a while.
I will say for Barbie, I do remember the week after Barbie released, I went to the theater to watch some other thing. I think it was when we watched Flash, maybe.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and like there are
Everyone's
people,
dressed up.
dressed up as Barbie, and this is the week after the movie actually came out. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? But if we ever do Villeneuve in review, like holler at me.
Villeneuve in review.
Villeneuve in review. Holler at me because like
Remember that.
I would love to rewatch fucking Sicario. I
Oh.
guess we probably already done reviews for like Blade Runner and shit, haven't we? But
We did Blade Runner.
Just a review.
Yes,
We haven't done
just the
in
first
review,
two.
though.
No, I thought we did. Didn't we? We did. Our,
No,
Blade
No.
Runner
we
review?
didn't talk about the first one.
we just reviewed it.
Oh,
like
right.
Screencast or something, but not in review.
Interesting. Dude, I almost fired up Sicario over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was this close from press and play, and I looked, I had a gut check moment with D, and she was like, "Are we going down this rabbit hole right now?" And I'm like, "No, I can't." Because Sicario is the single most tense experience out of any movie I've ever watched in my entire life. If you've never seen it, it is fucking
It's intense.
terrifying. It's very, very
I never have.
dude.
You should watch it. I
Don't
feel
watch
like you
it
would
at
fuck
night.
with
You
it.
will
Oh,
not
I
sleep
know- I
afterwards.
know I
Watch it on a
would.
Saturday and then watch a football game or something afterwards. I'm not even kidding, man. Like
Put it on at 11 a.m.
Do you ever see No Country for Old Men?
Oh yeah.
It's that times like 100 with the Mexican cartel. It's really, 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 really scary.
And Benicio del Toro.
And Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin, who was awesome. You forget all these connections, right?
Yeah.
The Josh
That's
Brolin
cool.
connection, just really, Josh Brolin really is the thread that ties everything together in entertainment.
When it's all said and done, Villeneuve versus Christopher Nolan, who we putting higher?
It's different.
Real
I
good
don't know that
question.
Villeneuve is going to get to the point that there's as many that you can say.
If he
You
gets
know?
to do the Dune series, I think he skyrockets past Nolan.
Yeah.
Now Nolan now, for sure.
Right now,
Right now, for sure, Nolan. Like, I can't even joke about that, right? Then Nolan gave us the Dark Knight trilogy. Like, that's, in my opinion, I would still put that over Dune. I just would. I think the Dark Knight rises above, no pun intended. Pun intended. Give it a little
Fuck
bit
you.
of that. Fuck
You
I'll take
deserve it.
You know what? I'll take that one. But I will say this: if he's able to do Dune Messiah, which all indicators are pointing that he is going to do that, and then take it to Children of Dune, I don't know if they're going to do all 6 books or whatever. That could be something on par with the 7 Harry Potter movies, as far as like
Really? Wow.
as far as like a cultural 20-year span of how long did the Harry Potter movies take to roll out? It was like from 2000,
Like
what?
15
Yeah,
years?
15 years. It could be something on that level.
Danny Radcliffe was a newborn. He was
But you look
fresh
at
out the womb.
you look at Harry Potter and that had what, 5 directors? David Yates,
Alfonso Cuarón.
Alfonso
That was the only
Cuarón,
good one, though. Let's be
Christopher
real.
Columbus, and then
Azkaban?
I think there was one other guy in there.
It's the only good one.
Azkaban is sick.
But like, there's never been a franchise that I don't think there's been a franchise where the director and has that same creative team has been like responsible for it all the way through, right?
I mean, yeah, it's a good call, right? Like,
It would be. I'm just saying, it would be
franchise
incredible.
is interesting words to use there because, like,
Series,
Whatever.
I guess,
Yeah.
ongoing tale. So it would be really interesting. But right now, Nolan for sure. I mean, you forget about Oppenheimer, right? Everyone's like,
I
"Oh."
don't forget about it.
I don't know
And
that
then-
many
The
people
movie's
do.
burned into my brain.
I'm watching the Academy Awards last night, and I'm watching scenes, and then I was like, "Fuck, that movie was fucking really good."
Which is a good time, man.
Yeah.
Like,
We are in a
it's-
great time.
Best supporting actor. What it was?
Robert Downey Jr. won it.
Him, and then wasn't like there's somebody else. The from Poor Things, Hulk. Was
Mark
he
Ruffalo.
nominated?
Mhm.
Yeah, because I saw people being like, "Oh man, if Mark Ruffalo won," and I'm like, "Y'all, he was up against fucking Iron Man in Oppenheimer, and his performance in Oppenheimer was sick."
Here's the deal.
And I love Poor
I
Things.
love Robert Downey Jr. I will always love Robert Downey Jr. for his work throughout the eras. Loved him in the 80s. Love him as Iron Man. Obviously, we all owe him a debt of gratitude and honor for Iron Man.
Thank you so much. I love you too, Nick.
That was really great.
Thank you.
Having said that, occasionally people get Academy Awards not necessarily for their performance, but because they are who they are, and this is an opportunity to reward them for that. Looking at you, Martin Scorsese, for The Departed. Looking at Robert Downey Jr. It's happened.
DiCaprio.
Right? DiCaprio for The Revenant. He was phenomenal in that, but should he have won for that? That's who knows. I think he should have won for Wolf of Wall
For
Street.
Departed?
I digress. So I think he just got rewarded for like that lifetime of service.
He
for
should have
that
been awarded
specific
for
one.
his last nominee for this, right?
What was he nominated for last?
Tropic Thunder.
Was he really?
Yeah. Tropic, he lost to Heath Ledger as best supporting.
Tough.
As Joker.
That's a tough loss.
Yeah.
Really? Damn. I mean, yeah, but like the fact that,
I mean, yeah.
like the fact that like you look at the nomination list and you got Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder and then Heath Ledger is the Joker. That's insane.
Kevin, can you bring up? I saw this sort of thread going around how just what insane competition Robert Downey Jr. has had. Can you look up the year that the Chaplin movie came out where he was
Charlie
nominated? Because that video came out recently of people posting footage from that old Oscars being like, check out the competition he had the year that he was nominated for Chaplin. And I believe it was Pacino in Godfather, one of the Godfathers. I forget who even won that year. No, is that not right? Is it-
No,
that's like
that's
totally
no
different
way.
eras, right?
well, I guess, I see the Charlie Chaplin film and it's like black and white. So I just immediately attribute
Robert Downey Jr.
I attribute it to those days. But man,
so
Pacino
funny.
looks so young in this footage, is like crazy. Especially after watching him last night and just kind of babbled through. I'm seeing Oppenheimer.
Oh man, a Pacino. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Look, guys, we got to stop. We got to have a cutoff for both Senate, presidency,
Come on.
and for people who
That's
are gonna
the Game
announce
Awards
the
Al
best, the best
Pacino's.
picture. Dude, he walked up and he's like, I see an Oppenheimer.
And
And
people were
everyone's
like,
did we fucking win? I don't know. You're supposed to say, and the award goes to.
Yeah.
Like, how, Pacino, this is your 900th fucking Academy Award. What are we doing? Keep Pacino and keep Warren Beatty the fuck away from the awards from now on.
Didn't
You put
Pacino
him-
show up at Game Awards?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he did.
He introduced.
That's when Kratos was talking
All
for
right,
like 8 minutes.
so let's see. The 1990. This is Chaplin.
1993. Yeah.
It was
1993.
Yeah, it's 93. It's just set up. So
Who
you
is
can
he
see
up
90s
against here, buddy? I can't. You got to help me out here.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta help my old eyes out
it's
here.
not super. Hold on.
There we go. Actor in a
Actor.
leading role. He would have been a lead in that.
Son of a Woman was
Al Pacino, Son of a Woman.
Denzel
Clint
Washington,
Eastwood
Malcolm
in
X.
Oh, yeah.
Unforgiven.
Stephen Ray, the Crying Game. that movie.
Denzel.
Denzel and Malcolm X is insane.
Oh, Al Pacino won. I'll tell you what, though. That is stiff competition because Unforgiven is one of my favorite movies of all time, and Clint Eastwood was fucking awesome in that. He should have won. He should have won that year. Al Pacino, Son of a Woman. Yeah, I guess he's fine. He did dancing. Hoo-ah.
Which we've heard a million
Yeah.
times.
Heard of that a million times. But yeah, just wild competition to be like in a league with other actors like that. How, you know what I loved? I loved all the actors giving out award or like all the previous best actors.
I
and
didn't love it.
actresses.
I liked it at first. Then I didn't like it. And then it kind of came back around where I was like, okay, I understand what we're doing here. But there was a moment where it was like, it would be like if I looked at Blessing and I was like, Blessing, we've been best friends for years.
Yeah.
And then you were like, Nick, we've been on 3 podcasts together in the history of you working at Kinda Funny. It
Yeah.
just felt disingenuous where like that they were like partnered with the other person. And I'm like, I don't know if they really know each other. They were very acting in certain instances.
That's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do. In that moment, if I
Awards
was
are given out.
if I was sitting down and got like was paired with an actor, I'm like, I kind of wish I had, the other actor
I'd want
to
RDJ.
introduce me.
The connection that I love was Sam Rockwell, RDJ.
Yeah.
I love they had that. That was awesome.
That was beautiful.
I love, dude, the Arnold moment with Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton.
Oh, that was incredible.
I would, if you were to ask me, Nick, like, would there be a better duo to hand you an Academy Award? Because I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the lady won
Twins.
for
yeah,
twins. That's why they were there.
Yeah,
You just made that connection?
yeah, I did.
Okay.
not just the
Not
Batman
just the
thing.
Batman and Robin thing.
Yeah, because it
More
wasn't
people would
Keaton.
associate it with twins.
Because Keaton wasn't his Batman.
He
but-
was
yeah,
for DeVito.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the editor for Oppenheimer won, and that was the award, maybe, or maybe it was a short. I can't remember. But she was like, "I love that I'm getting the award from these guys. I grew up watching Twins. I love this so much. I would just not be able to handle it if Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito were standing behind me during my speech. But it'd be fucking rad.
It's so wild.
It's so wild. And Danny DeVito is just. I think he's gotten smaller.
Yeah.
And he can't really move that well. And Schwarzenegger is still. It was perfect. It was a perfect moment.
It's freaking me to see Danny DeVito age. Because, like, I've seen him so much in It's Always Sunny now, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he's been in hella shit before that. But to, like, I swear to God, like 5 years ago, see him in It's Always Sunny. And he's not young, but he's what I've, like, envisioned him as my entire life. And then see him here, and it's like, dude, time has passed.
Why was Michael Keaton wearing the neckerchief? Was that a Batman reference that I don't understand? I know he wore a neckerchief in The Flash. Remember? There was that one moment where he kind of cut over to him.
I think it's just
and
his
I think
thing
we
now.
had a thing where we were like, maybe that was from back in the day or not.
Just let him have the thing.
But he didn't
But
have it
like-
when he presented. He came out when he presented. I think he didn't have it on. He presented an award
Why are you focusing on that?
because I want to know if it's a Batman reference.
Okay.
Because they
I
had that
doubt it.
moment where he's like, oh, he's right there, and I
You
was
don't
like,
think
this
that's
is.
actually a Keaton reference that he snuck in Batman?
That's
This is the question.
Yeah, I'm with that.
These are what I want to know.
I think we're getting a little too in deep with the.
I want to go through the hits of the Academy Awards last night because I'm
The
sure
biggest one, my boy,
John Cena?
Godzilla.
Oh, I thought you were going to say John Cena.
Well, that too. That's fantastic. Godzilla winning a goddamn Academy Award
Minus
for
one.
best effects, which is amazing when you think about the budget of that incredible movie, which you still need to see.
Still haven't. Well, I can't rent it. It's like
Yeah.
nowhere.
Once it's out, it's gonna change.
Literally every time anyone mentions it, me and D are like, we should watch this movie. And then I go to watch it. And I'm like, I can't find it anymore.
It's so damn good. But
I
the
ended up
effects
renting
were
King Kong a couple times, Peter Jackson.
Oh no,
Feel great.
No, but the effects were incredible, and what they pulled off was like magic. It was actual magic, and they got rewarded for it. I think that's just so cool.
As well they should. And that's, you want to talk about steep competition. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I know.
Come on.
My God.
That movie, I mean, the creator was stunning as well. I didn't particularly care for the plot or the movie itself, but the effects were pretty rad in that one. And then Dead Reckoning. Dude, what's crazy to me is, did you watch the breakdown of effects for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning?
Mm-mm.
They had the train sequence where it's hanging off, and none of it was real. They had like 3 little pads, and they replaced every single thing in there with the actual textures and the all of the scenic stuff from the. I'm like,
the
this is
interior of it, the train was not
just
real?
nothing.
Oh, shit.
Like I think they had like a blue thing here, and a blue thing here for the tables that he was jumping on, and they replaced those with the actual like texture of wood for the tables, and I'm like, why?
The amount of trust I have in Tom Cruise, because you could have told me that entire thing was real. I'd have been like, yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
just
what Tom
really
does.
did it. That's why I lost special effects. That wasn't a special effect.
God damn.
I wanted to tweet about John Cena because I feel like I didn't think anything was going to steal the show from Ryan Gosling, but I feel like John Cena coming out and being naked on the Academy Awards and then seeing the pictures from the side and being like, oh yeah, he's actually naked.
Yeah.
Like he's
And
made
his
that look-
ass is-
Yeah.
His ass be
turkey.
assing.
Yeah, dude.
I got some facts here for you about John Cena.
Yeah.
As a tribute to this is from Variety. As a tribute to the 1974 Oscar streaker, John Cena walked on stage nude, sort of. His private parts were strategically covered so as not to run afoul of FCC standards.
Yep.
But the producers got away with a lot more than the network's legal team wanted. Quote, there was a lot of reticence? I've never heard that word. Reticence, I guess. Of not just a fine from the FCC, but potential complaints. At first, the S&P team said it had to be blatantly clear that Cena was not naked, but then the producers worked with the network to determine what they can get away with. I'm going to educate you a little here. A bulge cannot be showing, and you can't show crack. It was also what happens if he drops the card. So he made sure that, for all intents and purposes, he looked like a Ken doll up front. His crack was covered in the back, and then the envelope was Velcroed on there so it wouldn't fall. But beyond that, our boy was naked. They were sweating, she says of the S&P execs. I think at the end, we all got to a spot where we were comfortable. S&P was comfortable, and it didn't compromise the comedy a bit. I was very thankful we didn't have to send him out there in tighty whities, which I'm sure legal would have preferred.
I will say that obviously there's moments where comedy doesn't work in the Academy Awards. More often than not, you're like, God, why are they still talking, right? And there were some moments in here as well where that worked out. But this was pitch perfect. John Cena fucking nailed this.
Yeah.
And I say that hot off the heels of getting approximately, I would say 20 minutes into Ricky Stenicki and being like, oh, I don't know, this one's not working for me so much. So I come from that.
Really?
movie.
I heard everybody
Good
loved
things.
John Cena's great in it. I just think
I just love Tim looking at me being like, why does Nick never have the opinion of the majority of people?
Just so, what's funny, I haven't seen this movie yet. It popped up and everything I've seen has been positive. But also I look at that and I'm like, I don't give a
should be
fuck
a
about the
good
quality of this movie. There's no way Nick doesn't like it. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying John Cena as a comedic actor has really come into his own. We've talked about this.
God, yeah.
The fact that he's also wearing Birkenstocks,
Inspired.
really inspired choice.
Yeah.
I do also want to give a shout out to Jimmy Kimmel, who I thought was a phenomenal host. I thought he did a very good job.
I've seen the internet tearing him apart.
I thought he did great.
What happens?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think watching him as a person who, obviously aspires to be on stage, being a comic, doing these things, I'm like, holy shit, you forget how fucking good he is at that job.
I think it's very effortless for him at this
It's
point.
so
I
easy.
I think that's something that you can kind of easily write off and say that, so much of the stuff he does up there just does not feel like, prepped or planned. It's just like he's just been that good as a host for a long time. I'm with Bless. I saw some people hating on it, but overall, like when I saw a lot of people say, man, we should get John Mulaney after he had that little bit where he just recapped the movie A Field of Dreams.
Okay.
And that was
That
great.
was
They were
fucking
like,
hilarious.
give us John Mulaney as a host. My immediate thought was like, yeah, but you'll hate him after a year of that anyway.
No,
like,
here's the thing about John Mulaney. And a phenomenal comment, great writer, very smart guy too. Do I want him for 3 hours? See, the problem with hosting is that you kind of have to be like chill going through. You got to have the peaks and valleys. And what I appreciate about Kimmel is he's just taking us through this adventure that is the Academy Awards, keeping it moving along. Threw a couple great digs in there for Trump. Had a couple good moments. We had one moment with the dog that I can't stop laughing about, where the dog was doing
Did you see the behind the scenes of it?
No, but I
Oh
want
man,
to.
Kev, I don't even know how to find it, but if you could just look at behind the scenes dog Oscars, there's just an amazing picture of a man laying down, holding up fake dog hands in front of him. So funny.
Now, this was the dog from
Anatomy of a Fall.
And a lot of people were like, we don't want this dog in the theater, but they, a lot of the movie studios were like, we can't have this dog in the room with everybody else.
Because it might bark, or
yeah,
it might
and
be
people
allergic
weren't
or something.
And a lot of people were like, come on, let the dog just be a dog. Just let the dog chill. He's got that dog in him. So then I guess they pre-recorded that bit, because then I saw the other shot of pre-recording, having like a fake audience behind the dog to then cut to.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like there's a shot of like a small group of like 15 people in seats just for the camera shot, so like it doesn't look like there's no one behind him. I'm like, man, movie magic.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Wait, what was? I don't know what this dog thing is. I
This
didn't
dog.
see this.
Oh, you didn't see this?
No.
So this dog is from Anatomy of a Fall, and honestly, Real Talk has a phenomenal scene in it where it has to fake like it's overdosing on opioids.
Jesus.
Because the whole movie Anatomy of a Fall is like, you don't know what happened to this lady's husband. She was there with him. He fell. You don't know if she killed him or not.
That's the movie that Mike saw on a date one time, I believe.
Which, by the way, is I just want to set this for you. It's a foreign film.
He said it was very, very boring, and then
It
and then
is.
I looked at the reviews, and everybody's like, "Man, this is gonna win an Oscar."
It is a 2-hour long trial that happens in French,
Yeah.
and some German, and then a little bit of English.
gotta
About a
read-
woman
gotta
who
read
may or may
this
not have
down.
killed her husband, and spoilers at the end of it. You're just like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a moment in it where the dog has to act like it ate like vomit that had some opioids in it, and the dog has to act like it's fucking ODing. And this dog nails it, dude. Like this dog is it's just like if there was like an animal Academy Award, I'd be like, this dog's gonna fucking win.
I mean, we
There's
saw
no way.
The footage that we saw
for
for
them.
the
Good
audio
boy.
listeners was the dog passing out, and the people like having to pick up the dog with its like, kind of limp body. It's like, wow, that's very impressive.
It's unreal. So of course they put the dog in the seat, which was hilarious. And I'm like,
they made the dog
they
clap.
made the dog clap.
So the dog was sitting there, and then they put up fake puppet paws in front of him.
It's just like, but it's not a big clap. It's just a little tiny like.
That's awesome.
I'm trying so hard to
That's
find
super cute.
any footage
Dude,
of
blessing.
this.
It's got to be a
strictly
meme.
that
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
just look at the name of the dog.
one.
Is
Yeah, Messy.
Nessie.
Yeah, if you look up just
Just
Nessie on
messy Oscar
Twitter.
clap. I'm sure.
Did you guys actually watch the full Oscars?
I watched the full thing. Yeah.
I watched like maybe the second half of it because I kind of forgot it was even on. It was very early. I was surprised that like, oh shit, it's
Thank
3:45.
God, it's perfect at that time.
Yeah.
Red carpet started at like I came into the red carpet on 3:30. It started bang on at 4:00. It was a little late, which is weird. Jimmy Kimmel made that note. He's like, we're already 5 minutes behind, which is hilarious. But dude, it finished by 7:30 on the dot. It was perfect.
Oh my god.
And that was Ryan Gosling noticing the dog in the shot.
Fucking funny. Yeah, no, I just watch clips and stuff online, but man,
I watched
seems
little
like a fun show.
I thought it was a really good Oscars. I mean, I'm a sucker for the Oscars. Every year I go, I'm not gonna watch the Oscars, and then I find myself drawn to it because I've pretty much watched every single one of them since I was a kid.
I did see the full Ryan
That's so
Gosling
funny.
performance of the Ken song, and that was incredible.
Slash, man. They got Slash for freaking Ken. And like the homage to the Marilyn Monroe thing, so damn cool. Of, like,
What was the
her-
homage to the?
the outfits that they were wearing, with, like it was styled exactly like her Oscar performance from back in the day,
that's
like with all
awesome.
the background people. And Simu Liu, come on, man.
They got
They
all
just
of
knew
them.
what they were doing.
They got like 3 or 4 of the Kens.
Yeah.
together.
It was a great show. The humor, the breaking of the wooden boards, him just like dapping everybody up as he's walking on
He's
stage.
great.
Well, my favorite part of the whole thing was it starts right, and it cuts over to him in the cowboy hat, but Margot Robbie is sitting in front of him.
Losing it.
She cannot stop laughing because he did something stupid right beforehand. He
Yep.
said something dumb, and she's
Yep.
like, "Oh God, he's gonna do this." Goes up on stage, crushes it. Performance of the night
Casual,
by
too.
her.
Like a casual crush.
Well, you forget he's like a Disney.
Hey,
guy,
he's
right?
so
You
good.
forget he knows how to dance and actually sing, which is great. And then he comes down and sings with Margot and Greta, and they're just having a great time. And then it cuts out, and of course they've got the words on screen. I'm like, I would be screaming this if I was sitting in the Kodak. It's awesome. It would be so fun.
He like kissed one of the cameraman's hands.
The guy that he brought him with him.
Yeah.
God, that was so good.
What a perfect night. And I hate to say it, and like I think all the other musical performances, while good, were so subdued just by the nature of the kind of songs they were. Like Billie Eilish's song.
Billie Eilish's song. I was like tearing up. I was like, why am I crying? This is crazy.
But man,
Great
I mean, look at this part. It cuts out, and they're all laughing. Like Billie Eilish is laughing. Come on, dude. Come on.
He's gold.
You gotta know that's just Ryan Gosling having a moment here.
I didn't see any of the other performances where any.
They were fine. I mean, I will say from a staging standpoint, I love they put the orchestra above them.
Yeah,
which is
that was
great.
dope.
And so it would open up occasionally, and there'd be people up there, and you could see. I'm like, that was really, really cool. The other performances were very lackluster, though. And one of them was I forget his name, but he was on piano. Billie Eilish was with her brother on piano. It was very, very small. There wasn't a lot of big moments, as opposed to in previous years when they would like kind of blow it out. This one, they were like, we're saving it for I'm Just Ken.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's
That's what
Black got robbed. You know what I mean? We could have got Peaches.
Could have got the.
Oh yeah,
that's true. The entire time, I kept thinking to myself, man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for next year when Dune 2 just fucking cleans house. Just give it to him now. Give it
to him now. Fuck
What's
it.
coming out? What's going to be better than Dune? You got something better for me? Studios? You ain't got shit.
what is coming out?
There's a lot of great movies coming out.
There's always random little small movies you never heard of.
Deadpool 3 is gonna come out.
6 people.
I also, by the way, come on, dude. I love also that Ryan Gosling at this point knows everyone, but he also knows Emma Stone like really well.
Yeah.
We did La La Land together, and just all the shout outs to her and like just the moments of her reacting to him in this. So good. Also, I think I need to watch Poor Things because apparently it's a really, really fucking good movie that won a lot of Academy Awards.
Yeah, Poor Things is sick as hell. Like it'll probably be that and Oppenheimer would be my two picks for like my favorite movies of last year.
Blessing, would you believe that on, I think it was either Saturday morning or Sunday morning, as I woke up very late, and I don't blame myself because it was daylight savings time. I woke up an hour later.
I thought we were
thinking,
done with this. What
no,
are we doing?
we didn't vote it out.
Fuck.
We put all of our efforts toward people seeing Dune 2 instead of voting for it.
Oh.
And then we have to pick and choose our battles. But
I thought we did vote for it though.
Me too.
Yeah, I thought it was announced.
Yeah.
Like it felt like a thing I read on KHD.
And I'm just wondering, like, did I fucking Mandela effect that in my brain?
I believe it like went to the House and it still needed to go to the Senate, and then it never went through in the Senate or something like that. One of the spots that it needed to go through, it just died on the thing because
always
COVID.
yeah.
that.
No. Yeah.
Just blame COVID for it.
But would you believe that 11 o'clock rolls around? I think I'm still in bed. I'm like, whoa, I slept so long. Why am I still tired? I walk out. My wife's finishing the last 15 minutes of Poor Things. So I saw the ending of it.
Oh, that's not
That's
the
super
way.
fun.
That's not
Poor
the way
Thing
to
the
watch
entire
that
time.
movie.
I was the poor thing the entire time, Tim. But you know who's not? Our amazing sponsors. Let's hear from them now.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays, an independent sunglasses brand that has over 300,000 five-star reviews. They are on a mission to match affordability with durability, making top quality shades accessible to everyone. They have tons of styles and colors to pick from, so finding the perfect polarized shades is a breeze. If you want an upgrade, we recommend their premium Color Rush lenses. Crafted with rare earth materials, these lenses bring high impact color to life, elevating reds, blues, and greens. Here at Kinda Funny, we all love wearing our Shady Rays, whether it's me looking dope doing my Pokemon Go walks, Snowbike Mike rocking the snow goggles, or Joey just looking fantastic in her tangle-free shades. If your shades go MIA or take a hit, don't sweat it. They've got lost and broken protection, so you're covered from day one. And if you don't love your shades, exchange or return them for free within 30 days. Exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KF20 for $20 off each pair of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, that's shadyrays.com and use code KF20 for $20 off each pair of polarized sunglasses. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring this episode. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Joey has been loving her Factor meals because every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian-approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. Factor meals are ready to heat and eat, so there's no prep prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. And Factor is flexible for your schedule. Get as much or as little as you need by choosing your meals every week. We've done the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. A ton of us here at Kinda Funny have been so thankful for Factor since we've been in the new studio, and you can too. Head to factormeals.com/kindafunny50 and use code kindafunny50 to get 50% off. That's code kindafunny50 at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 to get 50% off.
Tell you what, though, watch 15 minutes of it. I'm like, holy crap, I need to go watch this movie. The visual style of that film
It's
is
incredible.
phenomenal. And I'm like, when they announced costumers, I was like, they're gonna win. They won costumers, makeup, all that stuff. I'm like, they're gonna win. That stuff was nasty.
The movie that I realized I needed to watch. What was the one that had Lily Gladstone?
Killers of the Flower Moon, which I
Yeah.
still haven't watched.
Yeah, haven't seen that either. And after the reaction from last time, I'm like, oh, apparently I got to really see that movie.
She's supposed to be phenomenal in it. It's one of those films that I think I've avoided watching just because I'm like, this is gonna be a very intense
An
experience.
undertaking.
Yeah,
That's
it's
one of the
3
ones
hours.
blessing that I forgot was only Apple TV, Apple Plus, whatever.
Yeah.
So like when I got Apple Plus to watch Severance with my parents back home, I was like, oh, this is where that movie is. Kind of like I'm not used to seeing it on any other subscription feeds like main, like, hey, watch Killers of the Flower Moon. But on Apple TV, it's like, oh yeah, it's an Apple funded product. That's why like when it didn't make a whole lot of money in the box office, people were like, well, it wasn't really supposed to. It went straight to Apple TV. And then like the whole point was Apple funding it, you know?
Yeah. Poor Things was incredible. That was one that, like, going into it, I was only fascinated with the cast. Because the cast of that
Cast is
movie is
phenomenal.
insane, right? It's
Yeah.
Emma Stone, it's Willem Dafoe,
Mark
it's
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo, Gerard Carmichael, who I'm a fan of just from his stand-up.
Gerard Carmichael's in it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah, he has, like, a major role in it. Him and then I think a few... Rami Youssef.
Yeah. Yusuf's in it.
Yeah.
Who's incredible.
Who's fantastic. And so
he
I was going
present last
into
night?
it for the cast. What was that?
He was there last night, right? Am I
Wow.
correct?
He was there. I saw him in I don't know if he presented, but I saw him in a lot of videos.
Yeah, that cast kills it. Everybody in that cast is incredible, aside from maybe Gerard Carmichael, who gives a performance where I'm like, it feels like he hasn't acted in like a major movie before. Like I
hasn't.
felt like somebody, yeah.
I
And
don't
I'm
think he
like,
has,
and I
though.
go back and I'm like, I guess he might not have. Yeah, like he's done stand up and he's done the Carmichael Show, which is a sitcom. But you can kind of tell that that's his first like major role. But aside from that, everybody's incredible. And then also, yeah, like the visuals of that movie, like the scenery is insane.
I want to give a special shout out to the cinematography in it, man. I was like, this is
yeah.
wild. They shoot the whole movie on like ultra wides.
Yeah.
So like when they get close to you, it's like a fisheye lens, and then it's all that weird, crazy like twirling of the bokeh.
I want to
them.
watch
It's
that for
fucking
sure.
Nuts.
Just haven't had time. But
Also,
yeah,
don't
looks
let
sick.
anyone spoil it because Joey told me she's like, go in, don't you need to know what it's about, and I'm like, well, now I know exactly what it's about. So that kind of spoils it a little bit, but it's sort of like a twisted Willy Wonka. You'll like it.
Yeah, I'm in.
Ludwig Göransson won his second
Lud,
award,
which is great.
First award was for Black Panther, and then he won for Oppenheimer. But then at
He
the
did
end,
Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Tell you what.
and
though,
then at the
this
end,
man-
He's had the strangest journey because he started off doing like he did the Community theme song and then produced for
Whoa,
Donald.
really?
Yeah, I think that's how he got his start. Then he produced for Donald Glover, like rap songs for Donald Glover, and now
Wow.
he's fucking producing Black Panther in Oppenheimer.
he's the guy that whenever you'd hear him, I'd go, "Oh, that's probably Hans Zimmer." I'm like, "Oh shit, it was Ludwig."
He's the new one, man.
Well, then at the very, very end, he goes, "Thank you, Mom and Dad, for buying me like pianos and sound machines instead of video games." I was like, "Come on, bro, I didn't need that. Like, what's up with that shot? Why are you taking a
Dig.
What's up with that, bro?
Sorry
Like,
to you, bro.
Yeah.
Is that really,
He could have
You
been.
could have been.
Greg
Lud-
I
you
don't
could
see
have
it as
been
a
Ludwig
dig, though.
Anderson.
I see it more as like a luck thing. Like I'm happy this happened. Like
no, hold on, Tim,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah.
Let's hear that one more
Let
time.
them talk. Let them talk.
Let's hear that
talk.
one
We're
more
fine.
time, Nick.
I missed it.
I said that if Andy had gotten keyboards and synthesizers instead of been forced to play video games in the RGV, he could have been Ludwig Anderson.
It's just so bad, man. It's just terrible.
Like man, there's so many
But you don't
things
gotta
that
call me out for it. You can just keep going. You know what I mean? There's a flow to these podcasts. You just let it go.
I saw it as like a, hey, kids, cautionary tale. Don't be a gamer. That's what I read it as.
Yeah,
Tim.
it's also
it's
fair
also
advice
people
too,
tweeting
though.
I mean, yeah.
The one thing that kept throwing me off though the entire night was that it's apparently Mother's Day in the UK.
Dude. Oh my
Every
God.
single time someone say Happy Mother's Day, I'm like, did I fucking miss Mother's Day?
Dude.
Every time.
You're telling, like, man, I'm notoriously bad for starting my stream and be like, "What's going on? How's your Thursday?" And it's Tuesday. Like I never know the date. Never know. Dude, I was sitting kind of far away from my computer, and my mom's birthday is May 15th, and I know it's always like after Mother's Day usually. And when they get up on stage, they go, "Happy Mother's Day," and I'm sitting far away from my computer, so I can't fully see the date on the bottom right. And I was like, "Wait," and I looked down. And I was like, "Is it May?" And the number 3 looked like a 5.
You
and I was like, "Oh my god, when did this happen?" And then I had to like look at
you lost 2 months.
Fuck.
Yeah. Fuck.
E3's in a few weeks.
Dude, I was all thrown off by that. And then a couple more people did say that, like, yeah, it's Mother's Day in the UK. I was like, oh, that's why they said that. Because at first I was like, International Women's Day? Like, why would you call it Mother's Day? That's kind of like a weird thing. I was like, oh, UK. It's a UK thing.
It's one
Seems
of the
like the type of day you guys would want to get on the same page for. You know what I mean?
Hallmark.
We got mothers everywhere.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
let's just figure that out. Let's just have a universal Mother's Day.
Well, it's very disorienting because like I was fortunate enough one time to be in London on Thanksgiving because I was traveling during Thanksgiving and it threw me off because I was like, wait, you
were
guys
all
don't?
there.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great. That's right. That was when the trip.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand why no one's celebrating Thanksgiving. Like, we got to figure this shit out, right? Standardize the holidays. Do that thing Kevin said where we have 15 months or whatever. So every month is only 15 days
13.
long. Whatever, 13 months.
13
right?
months.
Let's get on the same page here. Why can't Mother's Day, great holiday. I love celebrating. I send my mom flowers every Mother's Day. I like to see her. But it can be on the same fucking day worldwide. There's no reason to spread this out.
I agree.
Valentine's Day is the same day worldwide, right? Or whatever they call it in England, Old Cupid's holiday or whatever the fuck it is.
Good old Saint Nick. Well, I mean, so Canadian Thanksgiving is in December
It's probably
or
something
October.
stupid.
It's like
I
a
feel
month.
it's like earlier.
It's like a month before. I think in October. I was like,
You say
like-
it's stupid.
That's probably something dumb. You know what I mean? That's not a shot at the Canadian Thanksgiving. That's a shot at our Thanksgiving.
when is their 4th of July?
3rd of July. It's weird.
Weird.
They did it one day before us.
Weird.
They're like, screw you, England.
Oh man.
That's
Oh,
a weird one.
This has been a weird one, and I like it very much.
I also wanted to bring up really quick. Oh, here it is.
God, I wish Kevin
Proposed
made
new
this.
standard year.
I wish this was like Kevin's entire scheme,
Tim,
his proposal.
The best thing is the first always falls on a Sunday. So the second is always Monday or the 9th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then,
Dude, it's brilliant. I just don't understand why we don't figure this shit out. It's the same shit with the metric system. Why are we so wrong about this stuff? There's an easy way to understand things, and then there's a hard way. Let's all get on the same page.
Well, then you
Or
get to
Wait, so
fucking
you're pro metric
daylight
system?
savings time.
What's up?
Your pro metric system?
Yeah,
I'm pro whatever
everyone's
makes
pro
the
metric
most
system.
sense.
Metric system is the better
pro
system,
metric system.
by far.
Wait, which one do we use?
We use the imperial,
Imperial
system.
system.
Which is
Miles
so
and
stupid.
feet.
I kind of like ours.
Well, that's because
it's
you're used
so-
to
Because
it.
it's too hard to understand. It's like speaking a language. no
Why
one
is it
speaks.
base 12 instead of base 10, which is so easy to be like, all right, I have, 13 of this, that turns to 1.3 of that.
We could
Dumb.
just keep
That's
it.
smart.
We could just keep it the same names and have it like, oh, a mile is 1,000 feet or 3,000 feet or what. You know,
See, that's gonna fuck me up then. Because like you're telling me somebody lives 5 miles away, and I'm like, I know what that is right now. If you change that at all, if you change that to
Yeah,
a
but-
kilometer,
No. You
I'm
know,
gonna be so
we
fucking-
all
I
know
think
what a
every-
mile is.
No, no,
Nobody
no.
knows what 5 miles
No,
is. You don't
I-
understand what that is.
I think the words stay the same. I think we just
The
like
measurement changes.
we do like a round down.
Well, it makes sense because you call it a mile. Starts with an M. Meters start with an M. It kind of makes sense. We're
Yeah.
going in the same like.
Kill a mile.
but
Centimile.
yeah, like a mile would be approximately like close to a kilometer, which automatically is putting it in a different place.
Well,
We might as well just call it a kilometer then.
Kill a mile.
but like I cannot tell you if a
Here's my
kilometer
thing. I say that we
is shorter or
sacrifice-
longer than a mile right
We
now.
sacrifice from both ends.
Really?
We use our names,
Kilometer
but their
shorter, right?
system. Then they have to get used to our shit. We have to get used to their shit.
Yeah.
We're all starting fresh.
I will-
but everything about their system works better.
How
Like-
how
But
hot is
here,
24 Celsius? Can anybody tell me?
Who cares?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's hot.
Wait,
like,
problem.
That's
in-
the fucking
I'll
problem.
be so
right?
fucking lost.
I know
24 Celsius could either be I'm freezing
I'm
or I'm wearing
free-
flip flops.
I'm pretty sure it's freezing cold, but I'm not sure.
16 is
not.
64
Yeah, it's very warm.
Fahrenheit.
24
Because
Celsius?
0 is freezing, right? Is 0 freezing? 0 degrees
Yeah,
Celsius
but
freezing?
like they don't
Ish.
move in the same way ours move.
What?
Here's what I'll say, and guys, I think it's important.
Like,
I
it's
think we
not
start
one
this
for
now.
one. It's not
Yeah.
Kelvin.
Right.
I think we got to get on the same page of what our ask is for the UK.
Kelvin
Right.
Coelho.
Is that we're offering to standardize both Thanksgivings.
Oh, that's harder than I thought.
Well,
It's easy.
actually nice.
It's the temperature times 9/5 plus 32 degrees.
yeah, that makes
Super
sense.
easy.
That's
Super
so easy, guys.
So simple.
Why can't any of us do that? That's the American school system failing us one more time. What I'll say is this: we get on. Here's what we're asking, Andy, because you're going to be my consult in this, right? You're my second chair as far as this is concerned. We standardize Valentine's Day and Thanksgiving. We got on the metric system, right? And all we ask in return is that when I go to London, you guys need to start driving on the correct side of the fucking road. Okay, that's all I'm asking. We will take your metric
I will make
system.
that. I'm down for that sacrifice. I think that's like the equivalent exchange.
I don't know, but there's sometimes I watch footage from
I think
people.
Valentine's Day might be standardized. Just
Oh,
I'm sorry, I meant Mother's Day. Mother's Day is what I want.
Of course.
Mother's Day and Thanksgiving. We'll standardize those across the board. We'll get Canada into this because they just do whatever the fuck we want them to do anyway. We'll get Canada into this. Standardize Thanksgiving. We'll give the UK Thanksgiving as well so that they can have something to do in November because they ain't got shit. 3 months of Christmas is too many months.
Well, I'm going to say it. If we're doing all this, we need to move Christmas and Thanksgiving. They're too close.
Thank you, Tim. We had a full podcast about this, about ranking the months.
Yeah.
And it was like, look, you can't have we need to put Thanksgiving in the summer because those two holidays are way too similar in terms of the days you take off.
My beef with it is that the winter fucking sucks, and so we need something.
You do need something.
Right? Like, I feel like summer is just fucking awesome because it's the summer.
It just throws you for a whack, though. And
you don't
like,
need a holiday in the summer.
But like you take
We have
that
4th of July.
Thanksgiving off, and you're like, oh, that was great. And then it's like, all right, I work for 2 weeks, and I'm back to a thing. It's like we could split it up to where you have that cool break at the end of the year and in the middle of the year, as opposed to like here's an extra long break at the end of the year, and the rest of the year you're exhausted.
Because I'm also thinking about the children, right? Like they have the summer off.
I always think about the kids.
You're gonna take away 2 free days from the kids? 3?
They have it in the
Two.
summer.
But
They
if
have
you're
2
really
months
thinking
off.
about the kids, it's like you're fucking them up because school-wise, that shit's essentially useless, and they still have to go to school for the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, but before winter break, and it's like it is just fucking the entire school system where these kids are not learning correctly.
I mean, you also have 4th of July in the summer.
But that raises a
Everybody's
really
favorite
good
holiday.
question. And again, this is more, so I guess sort of ammunition for us to go at the UK with. Why do the kids have 2 months of break? Why don't they go to school year
to
round?
work the farm.
Yeah, but no one's working farms anymore.
Well, yeah, but like the daylight saving time still happens.
What I'm saying is teachers then have to go like out of their way to get, they got to get the extra pay, they got to get the overtime by having to work their summers. They always end up working the summers anyway. Put these kids back in school where they belong. Give them 2 extra months. That's how we get ahead in the world. You know what I mean?
That's
people
sort
in
of how my
Italy.
school was when I lived in Nigeria. It was basically year round. We did trimesters instead of semesters, and I think it would be like between every semester, between every trimester, it was like maybe a few weeks of break.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
The thing that I always complain about is like, I think everybody can back me on this, is that I think all the other countries have everything more right than we do, except for like the 16/5/24, and
The
it's
dates?
like the 16th of May. Why?
Where again, that's something we should
Stupid.
absolutely.
Yeah, that shit is fucked up.
Blessing.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be in town. Ask me which date.
0202.
Yeah, what date are you gonna be in town?
18.
18? 18 what?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if I'm gonna be in town on the 18th of next month, Blessing, or the 18th 11 months from now. But if I tell you I'm gonna be in town May, poof, you're already fucking focused in on the month of May. You're zoned in.
I see what you're saying. No,
Tim,
yeah, I'm right there with you.
Tim, man, we should throw a Kind of Funny Live 5 or 4, whatever it is, on the 21st. In December, Nick, or in September, or in February of next year. When is it?
I appreciate
so
where
far
you're at, but
away.
you just add an of, and then it's all solved.
But
Here's my
but
thing.
the number
I
looks
agree with what you're
stupid.
saying in theory. It's just I want things to just work the way that they should, and for us all to be on the same page. I get why they do it. You want to go for the smaller thing to the bigger thing. I agree with you. It would change. They sound stupid when they say it.
It looks dumb.
You know,
It
But I
looks
feel like
dumb,
we all
dude.
sound stupid. Then it doesn't sound stupid anymore.
This is how dumb I am. I'm just gonna say it because someone's gonna catch it because you didn't hear it. But I'll be like, yeah, it's like if someone were like, hey man, I'll be there on 2024. You wouldn't know when I'm coming.
No.
You never know. I started saying it. I was like, don't finish that statement. stupid idiot. And I was like, Andy will laugh over this.
I mean, to Andy's point though, it is like it's zeroing in, right? Because even if I say I'm coming through on the 15th of May 2025, right? Like you don't know until I say May, like really when the shit is going down.
And it's such a long...
We're just wasting time.
And I don't want that guessing period. You know?
Yeah. That's
I don't want that
it's
second
a
of
little bit
guessing.
of anxiety because like when you say I'm coming on the 15th, and it's like, what's he about to say next?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to wonder. Just
There's
a month.
There's a big event in
Yeah,
April.
I was gonna say.
Perfect. I know it's really, really soon. There's a big event on 30. You know?
It's like, oh shit, which 30?
See, why don't we just simplify it even more though? Why do we even do all this
Yes,
stuff?
Tim,
Just
say it.
make everything. Let's say a year is 1,000 days.
Nope.
Okay,
It would be-
we've
it would be
gone
1,000
too
days.
far.
What? No. Why?
We live half
Fuck
days.
that
Oh,
shit.
kill a year. Kill a year.
Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no, let's choose something that just makes sense. 100. 100's probably a better thing to
kill a
say.
month.
What day am I meeting you? 37. I know exactly when that is. We can
Oh, I
understand
see
it.
what you're
Get
saying.
rid of
Wow.
days.
That's
Get
too
rid of
hard,
weeks.
though.
Get rid of months.
Wow.
It's just a fucking number.
That's kind of
Tim,
fire.
I'm so close with your idea. I was just saying, instead of having it restart every month, just keep it going. So February, that's 29 through what? I can't do math that way, but you know what I mean? 47, something like that. And we all know that.
Already.
We're like day 47. Yeah, that's easy. Mm-hmm. I know what day that is.
Yeah, so it would look a lot cooler written out if you're like, oh man, huge event happening on 100. You know, like that
dude.
shit would be
100.
so
Dude, if your birthday was
24.
on 100,
Yeah.
oh, that'd be so cool. That's like having a birthday on a leap year.
I think we're really, really finding something.
We're onto
here.
something
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We do have a good rhythm, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate to break it up, but I do want to ask a question because every once in a while, people write some fun stuff in. You guys can also write stuff in if you go over to Patreon or YouTube and back us over at those levels. Just I'm getting a call. It was a spam call. Should I
Potential
answer it?
spam. No.
No.
Madeline, Mad Exposure, of course, has been supporting us for a very long time. Asks a very, very interesting question. Says, did you know the term bucket list stems from the 2007 film of the same name? While the term kicked the bucket existed previously, the term bucket list was created by the film's writer, Justin Zackham, whose bucket list included writing a major studio. Yes.
I call bullshit. I need a fact check on this.
Okay.
There's no way that's true.
We can look that up. Madeline's question, of course, says, that being said, who is the hotter older man, Morgan Freeman or Jack Nicholson?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I do have a
Crazy.
topic that I want to get to after this conversation.
You can just start
I'll
talking.
say,
now.
Jack,
Doesn't want to answer.
I'll say Jack Nicholson because didn't Morgan Freeman
He got
love his
really old recently.
his niece or something like that?
He did what?
He had a If you just look up Morgan Freeman niece, there's some weird stuff out there.
No.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is some weird shit out
This
there.
was a while back,
Yeah.
yeah, but like very, very odd kind of weird shit. I'll go with Jack Nicholson anyway.
Do you think you know it's cool that Jack Nicholson still goes to Lakers games and now he brings like his kids? And they sit
Well,
in a row?
that was like a more recent thing because for a while he was absent for a long time, and then he kind of made his return. And it was like, oh,
Is he a
it's
Laker?
Good. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson? No, he's been a
No, he's a
diehard
fan.
Lakers fan for years.
Yeah, I'll check. I don't fucking know.
Is Spike Lee a Nick? Yeah, I'd go with Jack Nicholson because when a lot of people made fun of him when somebody saw him. Well, it was like one of those paparazzi photos, and he just looked very disheveled. Yeah, he's an old man. He's like 80 years old, right? And people were making fun of his appearance and stuff. But then he made kind of a reappearance at a Laker game, I think like a couple years ago, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's good to see Jack back.
Good to see
in
him
the
back
front
at
row.
it. Good to see him back at it. Yeah, according to the Wikipedia. You want to read that, Tim?
Yes, since one is from the etymology of the word is kick the bucket plus list, hence a list of things to do before you die. The term was used in 1999 by American and British screenwriter Justin Zackham in his screenplay for the 2007 film The Bucket List. I find this so hard to believe.
That blows my mind.
I believe it.
Nobody said it before then.
Yeah, and then we all just started using it as the most common. Oh yeah, that's what we say. Like I feel like I shouldn't have been alive for any turn of phrase like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The origin should have been way before my time, not the year I graduated high school.
Yeah.
We were watching Ghostbusters earlier today because Greg's doing his watch along before he goes to the premiere, and he reminded me that the term toast, this person's toast, comes from that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It had never been said apparently in
I
that
feel like this is a
context.
recent conversation we had.
We had it a while back when we talked about that, but yeah, he was.
The first high five was in 1977. You're
Dusty
lying.
Baker. Dusty Baker.
No way,
How
dude.
wild is that?
That's a fucking
this
lie.
Is supposed to be true. No,
Yeah.
I
Dude,
looked
I
into
bet
this.
you could find a couple high fives from like 1950s sports somewhere in there.
No?
Someone at some point was like, boom, hit that.
They
The
have
high five being like
where they
post civil
interviewed
rights.
these guys.
Do you know why pirates wear eye patches? One of my favorite facts. Why pirates wear eye
Because
patches?
they didn't have eyes?
Everybody thinks it's to cover up a bum eye or a destroyed eye or whatever. It's so when they go underneath in the galley where it's pitch black, they switch it because that eye's been in the dark the whole time, and it's easier to see automatically for them. Isn't that cool
I
as
thought it was
shit?
because then they could easily
that's
put the little telescope thing
Yeah.
up.
No, yeah.
That's pretty fun.
It's because that eye's just been in darkness this whole time.
Holy
And
shit.
so when they go underneath, they switch it to the other eye, and now this eye is like super ready to just see in darkness.
That can't be real for all of them though.
One of them had to have a fucked up eye.
Yeah, like the amount of pirates that like have like hooks for hands and shit.
Yeah.
It's like some of them have their eyes poked out for sure.
No, the hook was
No,
for something else.
sword fights.
Before we end the show, Kevin, can you bring up what I sent through on assets, please? Doesn't this look like Dave Bautista?
A little bit. Like, have you seen the 2006 Dave Bautista and the Dave Bautista now?
Yeah.
It looks like Dave Bautista now. He's got the big beard.
Yeah.
A little bit. But let's you had a topic before we go.
Yeah, first I want to say my answer is Morgan Freeman. Secondly,
Fair. Thank you for
I
answering
am
that.
turning 30 this year.
Yay.
In like 4 to 5 months. I'm turning 30
Congratulations.
in July.
Big milestone.
Or as some people
Oh,
call
so I
it.
could zero in on that.
Yeah, or like 157. Some people could call it. I've been trying to figure out what my bucket list is by the time I turn 30. Like before I turn 30. Like, is
Okay.
there anything I need to do before the age of 30?
Oh, okay. So like,
In the next 4 to 5 months.
Get it done. Eat a whole box of cereal for dinner or something.
Watch
I
Interstellar,
did that
watch
last night.
Inception,
Okay. There you go.
watch The Prestige.
Ooh, I do want to watch all the Nolan movies
Yeah.
for sure. Maybe do like a Nolan Villeneuve marathon.
James
and then
Cameron,
Alex
throw him in
G
there.
and the live chat says beat Dark Souls.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Something fun like that.
Beat
the
Dark
gaming
Souls is
up.
a pretty good one, yeah.
So what's on your bucket list right now?
I don't have anything on there.
You have nothing on there.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I say this with all honesty, I honestly think your life gets better at 30. So I don't think there's anything you have to do prior. I would say, if anything, like set goals for yourself in your 30s potentially, but like bucket list items. I mean, you're still well into adulthood, so there's nothing I could think of that's juvenile enough for you to be able to get away with at 29 that you wouldn't be able to get away with at 30, right?
It is pretty crazy. I was thinking about this a couple days ago. Like the shit that was acceptable when you were 23, even, and like obviously go back to 17 and all that shit's different. But like, there's just things that I'll never be able to do again. Most of them I'm not going to say on the show. But like, there's certain situations I've been in my life that I'm like, I can't believe there was ever a moment that me, the person I am, thought that was appropriate, and it was appropriate. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like watching just watching like one of those old movies that has not aged very well. You're just like, ooh. But we experience that, I
You
think.
mean like every movie? That's
Oh
like,
yeah,
that
pretty
wasn't
much.
made
Yeah,
5
like
years
pretty much
ago?
every comedy movie. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh man, they were just throwing out those words like nothing, huh?
Yeah, and I'm not even necessarily saying like words and stuff. I'm saying more just what a normal night out looked like. Like the activities you partake in.
Why do I always think a normal night out for you involved ending with fireworks?
Well,
Some
I
of
mean,
it
that
did.
was we're not talking about when I was 17.
Like throwing,
okay.
throwing fireworks at like in car windows as they drive by, that sort of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Bless, do you know how to skateboard?
No, I don't. I
Nick,
used to.
Nick says you're supposed to learn before you're 30. You're
Okay,
not
yeah, you
allowed
have
to.
two. That's a great idea. Okay, so here's the two things you can do.
skateboard, okay.
You have to do.
Because you're running
before
out of time.
I
Here's
know.
your
30.
things.
Skateboarding, and if you would like to be a DJ, now is the time to do it. If you
See,
if you pick up DJing after 30, I will make fun of you forever.
Here's the thing, because I told I was in my friend group chat talking about this, and I was like, would it be cool if I learned how to DJ specifically for the day I get married, and I want to DJ my own wedding reception? Is that a cool thing?
I mean,
Because I like the idea of it. I feel like that'd be sick.
I would as a
That
person
wouldn't
who's
be
been to a
fun, though.
lot of wedding receptions, you probably want to enjoy the wedding reception.
Yeah, that's what I've
You
been
don't
told
want to
to.
work it.
Who's gonna
Having
kiss
said
the
that,
bride?
I mean, it's after the wedding, right? Is that just for the reception? You know, have me on the table doing the scratches,
Have like a hologram of you.
like Tupac. All right.
Now I'll give you an exception to the rule of no DJing after 30 because DJ Adioye is a fucking badass name.
Or DJ Blessing.
Okay, for that works too. That's
Like,
kind of cool. That's easier to say.
Work
Yeah.
out.
That's fun. Try that. Yeah, do that one time. I thought
Okay.
didn't you want to like do like trivia nights or something fun like that?
Yeah, but then I started hosting Game Showdown, and so like
It's so much fun.
it takes a lot of time to make the trivia for Game Showdown than actually doing a trivia night at a bar. I think eventually, maybe 1 or 2 times, I could see myself trying it out. But yeah, to the skateboarding thing, I gave up the idea of ever learning how to skateboard back in high school when me and my friend Antoine, we would do like the ripsticks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 wheels, and you would have to like kind of like wiggle back and forth to make those things go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would
okay, I
wiggle to
remember
kind
those,
of
sure.
make inertia.
Yeah, I
kinda.
remember
Yeah, we used to do that all the time. And there was a time we were hanging out in our church parking lot, and he falls over, and I'm dying laughing, right? And he stands up, his wrist making an S shape.
Oh,
That'll do it.
And immediately I'm like, oh, this is not funny. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm like,
Still
this
laugh,
is yeah. I mean that cut the laugh short. I was dying, but then I was like, okay, no, this is actually very serious. And from then on, I was like, I don't think I'm ever stepping foot on a skateboard ever again.
I mean, I was never allowed to skateboard. I'll tell you that one time my brother decided to build a makeshift ramp in the backyard. He went up at the first time and snapped his wrist. And it was literally like his hand was here, his arm was here, and his hand was over this way. And my mom said, "You're never skateboarding again." And I never did. I rollerbladed after that. That's all she would allow me to do.
Hell yeah.
Because he had to wear, because I got to wear cool pads, which is
You
fun.
got to wear cool pads.
I mean, I love picking out the pads. I love going to the rollerblade shop. I love picking out the white brakes so that I could go on the actual roller rink. I was
Hell
so
yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah,
I was
you
so
were.
dope. And then I was like, oh, I'll rollerblade around the neighborhood. And I had a lot of hills in my neighborhood. Immediately quit. I was like, if my mom doesn't take me to school to rollerblade on
Yeah.
the flat surfaces, I'm not doing this anymore. And Elena Scarpino was like, I don't have time for that.
We're not
I'm
doing
watching my
that.
daytime
I like you
soaps."
threatening your mom, like, I refuse to do this anymore, mother. Unless you take me to school to do it.
That's just the way it
It's
was.
like, okay,
I'm not taking
whatever.
you to school on Saturday. Mind you, I went to school maybe 20 blocks away from where I lived. My mom was like, no, I'm not
but
doing
there
that.
were hills.
Yeah, it was like 3 hills. I'm not, a lot of hills.
Scary.
Can we talk about, before we go, I think this happened last week, and I might have hallucinated this, but Greg tweeting out Tony Hawk, can I have, like, the picture of Ben looking at the skateboards and then tweeting at Tony Hawk and then having Tony Hawk actually tweet back at him with some real knowledge. And then the first response to that was some asshole throwing shade at me for talking to Tony Hawk about yoga. And I was like, why you got to bring that shit up? Come on, he doesn't remember that. Don't tweet him the link to that.
Oh man.
God.
Come on,
That's so
guys,
funny.
ladies and
I
gentlemen.
love
Of course, this is the Kind of Funny podcast where each and every week, 4 best friends gather on this table, bring in some fun topics for your amusement. Hey, if you watched the Academy Awards and we forgot something fun, leave a comment in the comments below. Let us know what you thought was the highlight of the night. And also let me know, hey, future Academy Award predictions. How many awards is Dune 2 going to take? My prediction? All of them. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, it has been our pleasure to serve you. I love you. Bye.